Started the second term on a Sunday at Skilled Stadium. To Cece and Ablett. Rucks go at it. On the way down, Brogan slaps it. Down towards centre half back. Surgeon fell over. Knocked it to the advantage of Corns, who took a while. Boak seems to be okay, or does he? Might still be a bit fuzzy. He turned back into Chapman. Picked up by Cece. At close quarters, gave it across to a teammate. Not even sure who that is at the base of the pack. It might have been Pearce, or was it Roden? It was Roden who got up under all of that duress. Meantime, Bartel goes off the ground and puts it out of bounds on the full.
Well, they tried to get the ball out. The umpire's giving them a lot more latitude in the scrimmages, so the players have got to play to the whistle, otherwise they're going to get caught out like they did then, Port Adelaide.
So Roden to Salopek. That's a great kick to Boak. Well, he's just fallen over after missing the mark, but retrieved it well.
Good.
Poor handball, though. Put Logan under the pump. Corns back to Boak. So Boak with a lot of the footy in the first part of this second term, but not much clean footy. It was a better kick, but Lonergan worked to the front on Westhoff. He's so laconic, Westhoff. Sometimes you just wish he'd move a bit quicker, but at the end of the day, he normally does a good job. Kane Corns cuts it off. Kelly, Corns drops it down. Pearce, so important to Port Adelaide. Salopek to Logan. They should use it. Ebert provides the lead. Can he find him? Yep. Oh. Well, I thought he might have got a little shove from Hunt not coming. And now Bartel.
I think you're all right, Bruce. There's Ablett. Slips it away to Kelly. Kelly under pressure as he kicked. Ricochets off Carlisle. Tackled by Roden. That's a good hand pass. Comes out wide. Ebert goes down towards Harford and Davenport. He's 60 metres from goal, Davenport. It's one-on-one down there. The short men were too short, Hunt and Ablett. And as a result, he popped it over Hunt, and the mark was taken by Stewart.
Well, it went in between 5 players, and all of them were not moving. They were zoning, but they weren't on their toes. And as a result, they were just able to kick it over the top. You'll see there's a lot of players around, but it was a good lead. He came at the kicker, and he should kick this.
So young Stewart playing his first game. Kicks and kicks very nicely. Well done, Daniel Stewart.
Bruce, you probably know more than most of us with this young man. There are some raps on him.
Yeah, look, interesting story of Victoria, and went to Queensland and played in the Quaffle.
Yep.
Then went down to North Adelaide and played in the SANFL, and then had a big final series and got his chance with Port. So he's 21. He's one of those mature age, isn't he?
Well, they're in vogue. They're the in word, or the in thing at the moment. The older players coming into the system. He looks very capable.
So Daniel Stewart via Victoria, Queensland, North Adelaide into Port Adelaide, and a goal in his first AFL game. Neil Baum in the background there, lurking over the top of Bomber Thompson. Gee, if you were playing footy in the old days and Barmy was that close, you'd get a bit nervous, wouldn't you? If he was behind you. Well done, Kelly to Bartel, and Bartel to full forward. Chapman just read it brilliantly. He was the first man off the mark.
Just saw it in the air better, didn't he? He knew exactly where it was going to land. It's a really good tap there by Blake too. And you'll see here, just sees it better, gets the front position, and once Chappie gets in front, you ain't going to stop him.
And with Westhoff in the ruck, it's probably something they'll try and exploit. So Chapman, an easy one for him, but a great mark.
Well, centre clearances are such an important part, but when you've got ruckmen that are able to hit their midfielders, look at this. This is just a beautiful tap. It's a set play. They'll do that at training 100 times, and if they can get that to work 2 or 3 times in the match, it's paid off. Westhoff has to make contact with Blake in the air so he doesn't get a free hit at it. And at times, I think what you said before, Bruce, is right. He's got to be crash and bash, make contests.
So the margin out to 13 now.
Just have a look at it here. See, Westhoff might as well not be there. He just allowed Blake a free jump at it.
Farmer-esque. Farmer to Goggin.
And again.
Quite, yes. Blake hooking it back. Good smother, though. Kelly's kick went nowhere. Picked up by Corns. Goes looking for Treadray. Taken by Thomas. Dragged off it, though, by Harry Taylor. Hand pass Miss Selwood, who's been quiet. Kelly picks it up. Goes looking for Bartel. Chad Corns came at him. Harry Taylor still going. He could kick this, Harry. 55 metres out. Well, he should have. Oh! Missed by Chaplin. Taken by Mooney. twist for the mill. Hit the post by Johnson.
Oh, Chaplin, you lucky individual, because that was... Have a look at this. I reckon he takes his eyes off it. He did.
Well, you've got to balance the bad with the good. He got a career total, actually, of 3 Brownlow votes on this ground. He came back to that fateful day run, 21.07. The only time he's polled in the Brownlow, and he took the votes that day. The last time Geelong lost on this ground.
Good vibes for him, but
He should have marked it.
of course, Thomas made the error at half forward, which put them under pressure. So Gray gets it and then goes along the line and outnumbered there, Stewart. Lonergan.
He's improved, Lonergan.
Yeah.
His first 4 rounds have been, I think, very exciting for him and also for the club.
Just played the 9 games last year. Kicked 36 goals in 08 when he really made a mark, but he's one of the unlucky cats that was going very well in the year they didn't win it. So Duncan finds Ling, and then Ling, lovely looking kick off the boot. Johnson had just stayed in the air a bit. Tringove did well, and then Selwood through to Hawkins. He put Ablett under a bit of pressure and couldn't quite get the angle. Got a bit on it though.
Well, he missed the shot at goal, but gee, they should have even had a shot at goal. You'll see Cameron Ling here. Surgeon's just got to know that Cameron Ling is going to go back onto his left. He's got to be smarter than that. He needs to realise what Ling does, and he should have seen the tapes 100 times.
Lowndes the call on Cracker. He drives it outside the defensive 50. Gray got a hand to it, needed to, knocked it down to accommodate Hitchcock. Hard against the boundary line, puts it out of bounds on the full.
Just starting to squeeze at the moment, Geelong. They're getting numbers back, and Port Adelaide's starting to make errors.
And that was the possession of a young man who wanted a stat. He needed just to take it out of bounds. Here's Lonergan. Lonergan inside the centre square. Back to Taylor. He's looking so resolute back there. Goes in short. Now Mackie confronted. Back to Lonergan. Lonergan alongside the centre circles. Ablett will fly from behind. Well, he'll get the ball in any case. He stayed down at the last moment. Hand passes across to Chapman to Johnson. And it's a goal to the Cats.
It might be Stevie Day today. He's kicked 3, he's hit the post, he's missed another one. He just seems to be in the right spot at the right time, but they're just flying for the footy, and Ablett stayed down. He saw where it was going to land. They're finding it very hard to get it out at the moment. Port Adelaide have just got to probably take a breath.
And that kick out on the full was costly, wasn't it?
Yep.
Such a smart forward. The best forwards in the comp are able to take their players up into the contest, and then they can just get out the back, and he gets a lot of easy goals like this, getting goal side. But it's not cheating, it's just smart forward play, and he's probably the best I've seen at it.
It's a high compliment from Richard Jets footy royalties, and Ablett to Chapman to Johnson. Says something about why Geelong have been pretty good for such a long stretch, because CC, gang tackle, Brogan did well. Port. So Geelong free kick. Port have got to make a bit of a stand right now. They've prided themselves on being competitive this season. Now they're under the pumps. A lovely kick.
Go through, Chris. On the full now or 50.
So Mooney, well, he's in range for him, but he decides to go long and wide and uncontested. Podsiadly. Chapman was caught up with Johnson, and Chad Corns was caught up behind all of them.
It's hard because they've got so many tall options down there that they're trying to cover 2 or 3 of them, and then all of a sudden Podsiadly, you see the space behind. It's a really good kick by Mooney because he gets it in quick, and they're worried about Stevie J because he's already kicked 3, and then all of a sudden the Pod steps up. He'll have no trouble with this kick, Dennis.
Contested marks 11-0.
Yeah.
And Podsiadly, you think, would kick his second goal. He's a lovely kick, isn't he? The 28-year-old.
We love the Pod. He'll become a cult hero down here.
Well, all the ingredients are there, aren't they? He's got the right name, he's the right age, and he's got the goods to back it all up.
Kicks the ball beautifully. Played full forward forever in the VFL, and I think it's a great story. It really is a story of hope for those players that have missed out, who have been good local footballers. Gets his chance.
I reckon when he retires, hopefully not for a while, he'll be a good goal-kicking coach, because we need them at the moment. He doesn't look like he'll miss.
No. We spoke about his unease before, but he certainly is settling in. Like a pea in a podsy Adelaide. Boak in trouble. Spills behind the pack, a chance for Port. No, Geelong control the football. Corey gave it to Ablett, to Enright. Selwood comes back to Ablett, across half-back. Now it's with Hunt. Man on towards the outer side. Wojcinski takes the mark, overcommitted. His man went to the ground. Wojcinski runs away, uses Ling, the short one to half forward. He's on the rise, the pod. He kicks it from left half forward, inside the forward 50. Mooney not to be outdone. He's been inspired by the pod, the Minster.
Oh, the pod's just lighting it up here. About 45 out of the last 50 possessions, Geelong. Port Adelaide cannot get their hands on the ball. And the way they're moving it inside, Port Adelaide have to be very careful, because this game's about to be blown apart.
Yeah. Alarm bells are sounding. Mooney comes in. And he starts at left and it hangs out there. So the closer he gets to goal, Cam, the more likely he is to miss.
It's good sign. It's another contested mark, 12-0. It's they're starting to really hurt Port Adelaide in the air. That's where Westhoff and that have to get better, and Chad Corns. And
so this is what they want. Pearce running with the footy, but that kick should be okay. Roden's made a good start. Handball put Davenport under the pump a bit. Back to Roden, needs to kick quickly. He does. Geelong have got some numbers. Stewart overran it. Well done, Enright to Milburn, to Ling. And then Ling's got a lot of time to think about it. Mackie went without it. Ebert gets back. Head down. Boak. Cassisi. Tringo. Couldn't quite get it away. Roden down low. Well, it's a hard game of footy, isn't it? He went hard, Roden, and it went to the ground and just couldn't get it out. Now Chapman on the left, hugging the line. Milburn
Drives it inside the forward 50. 1 of 2. Podsy Ardley.
Yes, who?
He's becoming a cult figure. The comparisons with Nick Naitanui not obvious, but when the ball goes near him, the crowd gasps.
They couldn't be further apart.
What do you say that? Podsy Ardley. Oh, he's a left footer. Podsy Ardley in the left full forward pocket. And while all this is happening, Port stocks are sliding down the escalator. Podsy Ardley. Well,
he's just lost his job. He'll stay in Geelong's team, but goal kicking coach not for the moment. He's got a sense of humour. So I think Corns may have gone to Mooney and Carlisle.
Round that way, I said, when you get it.
To Podsy Ardley.
Round that way.
So it's a problem now for the Port's big men in defence. They're being towed up a bit.
Well, the problem is Port Adelaide can't get their hands on the footy, so every time it comes in, it's coming in quick, and Geelong have moved the ball beautifully in the last 10 minutes.
They've been hanging on to their marks, haven't they? So they've made a move on Port, and Port just need to kick the next couple of goals. Boat just waited for it. He needed to be a bit more, and then through it. That's a couple of mistakes there. He had to move off the mark. He had to move to the footy. He waited for it, gave the Geelong defender a chance, and then under pressure. So Bartel.
Kick.
Well, they're all getting in on the act.
The big boys are really causing them problems. But that's just a good lead, and he let it. There's two important things with leading. It's not only leading the right spot; it's waiting. It's timing your lead. You got to wait for the kicker to actually make contact with you before you can take off, and that's what they did, and perfectly put in front.
Now, it's normally a beautiful kick, Ottens. There you go.
That's Bruce.
Well, you knew that was going to happen, but it's normally a beautiful kick. Played a bit of footy with Richo. I think they were together in 01 down at Tigerland and a few other years. Richo, is that right?
Big Otto, yeah. In 01, he kicked 50 goals, nearly all Australian. So he's had great success as a forward. Obviously at the Cats, it's all been all in the ruck pretty much, but he was a good forward at Richmond.
Did you find him crowding you, Richo? taking some of your chances?
It was the other way around, I think. I was crowding him.
Don't be silly. Close to the boundary line. Taken by Pearce. Drives it beyond the wing. Oh, there's a nudge in the back, surely. Oh, apparently that's okay. Hunt goes across. Wojcinski's got it. Well, not sure about that kick. He split the difference between two teammates. Storming up the ground, though, Joel Corey works a little 1-2 with Milburn. So the two prevail. Wojcinski now across half back, and he comes to Lonigan. Lonigan goes short to Bartel. 2 on down the ground, one of whom is Duncan. No, he won't go to Duncan. He's looking back to the corridor. 2 wide is Duncan. Little 1-2 there with Lonigan instead. Make it a 3. Lonigan missed it. Up came Duncan to try and get involved. Lonigan, well, that was a sort of slow-moving spin, like a slow-motion whirling dervish, and the ball is out of bounds.
So Port held them up. They're just a bit sloppy there, the Cats. So Brogan and Blake. Blake doing well, and Salopek roving it now. Needs to deliver. Good kick to Ebert. Probably half a chance here. The goal square's vacant. Treadray's leading back. He's uncertain.
He might go long here to the goal square, I think.
He's going to load it up. He's got underneath it, Ebert. It's a long ball. Treadray setting himself. Taylor front spot. Hitchcock. Handball over the top. Corns had to release in a hurry. Little tap by Davenport. Good. Hitchcock. Still Hitchcock. Throws it out. Thomas should have a shot. Well, he does. And hits the post. He's hooking it back. So
that's the first time they've been inside 50 for 15 minutes. They've been out-possessed 30 times. 30 more possessions for the Cats. Here they've had 13 to 4 in the tackle count. So not only when they haven't got the footy, they're actually working really hard.
Precise kick by Hunt coming out too. Finds Ling, the captain, across half back. Takes something off the kick up towards the wing. Totally un-Australian. Coming off the bench, Cracker. The mark to stand though. Terrific by Mooney.
that was okay then, because Mooney actually came off the bench at the same time.
Did he? Oh, well, you're right. Just a fraction earlier then. Gave the lead, and Cracker was on him like a flash. The ball down towards half forward, and the ball goes out of bounds off the fist of Roden, but it's going to be a free kick to Hawkins.
He'll get it in. Stevie J wants it in quick. He believes he's one out.
Well, he goes back to Selwood, who now goes in the direction of Steve Johnson. Up he goes, hands to it, missed it. Corns, clever. Carlisle, Chaplin, across the ground. Davenport takes the mark. Not much up ahead, a lot of Geelong jumpers.
Move it on, play on.
He's looking back across the ground, just takes something off the kick, goes to Chaplin. Now Surgeon is on, and or Taylor. Comes looking for Thomas, rather, not Taylor. Thomas, taken away by Duncan. Hand passes inside the 50. Strong tackle by Chaplin. Surgeon off balance, kept it in. Still going, Surgeon. Well done. Davenport, a chance for Port now. He finds Salopek.
Salopek with a little bit of room through the centre. Decides to go to Ebert. 1 out. He's been good, Ebert, today. Still with it. Well played, Hunt. And Wojcinski just pickpocketed both of them brilliantly and runs away and then kicks to the centre wing. Good effort from the front.
Gee, that's a good grab.
He's a good player, this kid.
He's a ripper.
Duncan to Selwood. Oh, not so good. And now Brogan to Corns.
No
Corns,
forward line.
well, he could have a shot. He decides to load up and he wants the ball to run on. And it's running and running and running.
Oh.
It's a goal. It's home.
Oh, we'll have a look at this in replay. Oh, that was... Wojcinski was at full stretch. There was no forward line structure for Port Adelaide whatsoever.
Selwood got him into trouble, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He actually looks a little bit slower today, but there is no one there, and he kicks and hopes, and it sits up. No, the umpire's in A1 position, so we're not going to argue.
That was the bounce they needed.
Correct. Wojcinski looks up at the umpire and says, "You sure?"
And the scoreboard suddenly looks a bit better. Richo.
Yeah, we were worried about at quarter time, the big boys in the Geelong forward line with Bomber. We spoke about it. 10 marks to 2, and a lot of them contested. Certainly a problem for Port at the moment.
Milburn gave it to Kelly to Enright, who goes down towards half forward again for the catch. Oh, terrific grab. Corns just putting his body on Mooney in midair and nudging him away from the flat of the football across the ground to his brother.
Good
Suddenly,
running.
they look better. The last couple of minutes, Port Adelaide looking better. Carlisle towards half forward. Mark is taken by Davenport. Carlisle runs on. Now he's a long kick. Not his best effort. That's terrible. Straight to Taylor. Mackey. Milburn.
And now Carlisle's got to get back before the ball gets back down. Otherwise, his man will get an uncontested possession.
Enright got it from Hunt. He's still in the back pocket, so the moment has passed. Carlisle is where he needs to be now as Enright goes along the line, finds Blake.
Thanks, Dave.
What's he going to do here, Blake? He's thinking about taking them on.
Taylor. Ablett.
Thanks, Bobby.
Just working it down our broadcast side, at least initially. Now he goes inside the centre square. Duncan has it.
Stay out.
Coached by Tony McHale, one of the best
Good on, play on.
at East Perth. Duncan goes to half forward. Johnson works in front. Well done by Corns again. Able to punch it across the boundary line. We'll have a throw in just over 5 minutes till half time.
Here's the turnover. He tried to drill it in. He'd run a long way, so we'll give him the Tide benefit of the doubt.
Play on.
And so West off at the back. Roden been good in the clearances. Ling gets it from Chapman. Hooks back, but Salopek, the hook was so severe in the end. Salopek didn't quite read it. And then Johnson with a bit of magic, but not a great kick. And Tringo takes a good mark. He's a rangy type, Tringo. He's going to be a very good player, but he's at that early stage. Cracker. I don't know if Carlisle actually wanted it. So Port just... This is where if you're a Port supporter, you just sort of close your eyes for a minute and hope for the best. Well, it's okay. You can open them now. Boak at half back. Still Boak at half back. Neat little kick. Davenport's been okay. He's been a good link-up man. That's a terrible kick, though. That's a bad turnover. And then Chapman wide. And here's Podsiadly.
With the left boot down to the 50. Hawkins hangs in the air, does well. Takes the mark about 52 metres out. Man on the move is Mooney. And he takes a very strong diving catch.
You know,
10 metres in from the line.
The good thing with the pod, he's been able to hit up Mooney and Hawkins, the two big fellas.
One more.
He knows how to look after
Thank you.
players that he'd be playing with.
Well, he's looked their best forward so far, with the exception of Johnson, of course.
He's been dangerous, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Mooney, meantime, now he didn't get that one too sweetly. It wobbles like space junk across the face of goal, and up goes Westhoff to take the mark.
That's what he needs to do. He needs to get in there and fill the hole. He does read the play well, but needs to get more involved.
It's a terrific mark. And then Brogan from Cracker. Bartels, little neat one. Boak hurled up. Pearce. Such a barometer for Port. So I think off the play for holding against Ling, I think.
Jason.
So back to Davenport. It's probably bad luck for Port. Pearce is a more searching kick than Davenport. He may give it back to him, and he
will.
does. Now, hopefully Port play with a bit of dash and dare here. I mean, the scoreboard's not that lopsided for all Geelong's dominance. Corns wide. That's a good kick. Chaplin. Now, can they take some risks here? It's a risky kick. It's a terrible kick in the end. And then Hunt over the top. Not a great handball. Burns back.
Milburn, forward of half-back, up towards the wing. Well done by Chaplin, got a hand on it. It was headed for the chest of Hawkins. Fell to Surgeon, who goes short to Pearce. So the margin is 22 points. This just resembles, from my terrible memory, that round 21 clash in 07. Port hung around, then stole the game late. This one goes looking for Hitchcock. Well, that's ambitious. It's 2-on-1. Wojcinski got it on the ground. I think the idea was to favour Mackey, but the ball ran away from the pair of them with Hitchcock and went across the boundary line.
He just looks like a schoolboy out there against the Geelong defenders, Hitchcock. So small, and he's got tricks, but when you're playing against men, it's always really hard to compete.
Ottens did well, down to Joel Corey, into the path of Kelly. Kelly under pressure, swung as he kicked. Oh, clever mark taken by Chaplin. Comes across to Pearce. Pearce who applied the earlier pressure. Tracks the ball towards the wing, comes back to Logan. Logan across to Chaplin. Chaplin's got plenty of time. kicks in towards half forward. Well done by the schoolboy. Hitchcock knocked it away. Goes short across towards a teammate in Gray. Gray kept his head, gave it to Cassisi. Cassisi in two minds. Davenport back to Cassisi. They've got the spare man. Across it comes to Gray. He turns around and kicks a goal. Well done by Port.
That was unbelievable. They probably should have given away a couple of free kicks. They messed around with it, but I think you might be right, Dan. The Cats, whether they're flirting or they're a little bit tired because they've run pretty hard in the first quarter and a half, but Port Adelaide have had a fair bit of possession in the last half of this quarter, and they just seem to be able to push the ball forward without that pressure that the Cats were doing earlier on.
30 goals last year, 2 in his comeback game for this season this year. During this quarter, Geelong hasn't kicked a goal for 16 minutes, and it's 3-4 to 3-1 this term. You just feel like it's a lot more lopsided. So Port doing well and getting a clearance here. Gray getting it from Cassisi. Terrific defence there. Coming in from Lonigan, pressure on Taylor. Important ball to be won here. Important goal to be got, maybe. Ling over the top of the other Cameron.
We didn't jump over it.
In fact, they share the same number, don't they, the two Camerons?
There's a lot of players with their hands on their knees. It's been a very, very quick game of football, and as we've said, it's warmish conditions out there.
Fortunately, cloud cover in the last 15 minutes, but still hot. Ablett did well, and then Westhoff's little give to Logan, and then Logan loads it up. I think Davenport's free kick.
Arms around him, can't go to football. Yes, you did, mate.
Well, I don't know about this decision. I actually had the binoculars on the two players, and I just thought he was just trying to protect his space.
No, it's off the ball there.
Yeah, no, I know that. I had the binoculars actually on Mackie, and he went around the back of him. Gee whiz.
So Davenport, who's done pretty well today. He's just a little untidy sometimes with the kick. Only ever played one game against Geelong, his old club, and he kicked a couple of goals on this ground, and Port suddenly, with 3 consecutive goals, get close.
Bomber won't be happy with this. The last 5 minutes, they've really stopped that run. Port Adelaide have been able to win a couple of clearances. They've had numbers to the footy, and getting the ball forward, they've been pretty fluent in getting it to a one-on-one contest, and their forwards are actually causing a few issues.
So the margin is 10 points. Things have changed in there. Pretty quiet afternoon all of a sudden, Richo.
It is very, very quiet down here now, and if you look over into the pocket, there's about 25 Port supporters here. They're pretty happy, but no one else is saying a word at the moment.
I was talking just a moment ago about round 2107 and the similarities to this game. The Geelong Cats led by 5 points at half-time that day, 19 at three-quarter time, and lost by 5.
Well done, boys.
The margin currently is 10 here. And if Port stick around, they're quite capable of running with Geelong in the final term. They look a little bit fitter in the last 5 minutes. They're finding more legs. The umpire not happy with the bounce. Razor Ray. Ablett hand passes straight to Westhoff. Here come Port again. High ball inside the 50. Up with Stewart. Finds it on the deck. Across to Boak. Boak the look away hand pass. Hitchcock dropped it. Looked a little tentative. Back comes Stewart. Well worked there by Harry Taylor. Trying to push through the pack was Gray. In trouble. Cassisi knocked down by Kelly. Leaving the ball behind was Davenport. Lee's got it now. Advances at 5 metres, but that's not a good result. It came across from Logan to Westhoff. Over the football there was Hitchcock. Kelly on his knees. Now Burns comes away. Goes to half forward. Podsy hardly takes the mark. And with the confidence of a veteran, kicks it down towards half forward. Over the football down there, it's slapped out by Corns. In the opposite direction, Surgeon was taken high. And Surgeon will get the free kick. And we're down to 12 seconds.
Corns was good then.
Yeah, he was very, very good. But Podsy Hartley, he's the real live wire up there for the Cats forwards at the moment.
Well, been a terrific turnaround by Port. They've kicked the last 3 goals before half-time.